Yeet. The Royal Rumble. Uh, the Royal Rumble was definitely interesting to say the least. We started off with the Women's Royal Rumble, which was an absolutely phenomenal match. I really enjoyed the Women's Royal Rumble from start to finish. Even though I didn't agree with the winner, I did enjoy it, and it was like I started off. You had Io Sky and Liv Morgan starting it off. When they brought back Saturday Night's main event, this was the match they had for the Women's Championship. And obviously, Io Sky, she wants to get back to that point. Liv Morgan just lost the championship recently. So having these two start, it made a lot of sense. Then you had Roxanne Perez come in at 3, and she was definitely the highlight of the women's match. Like, she lasted, when she came in at 3, she lasted until the final 2, which we'll get to that later, because I think she had a really good showing. Obviously, she's fighting to try to get her NXT title back in a few weeks, and she's probably gonna lose that match. So when she does, it's gonna be perfect to bring her up to the main roster, because I think she can really thrive on the main roster, especially after the showing that she had here. Then you had some of your other mid carders like Lyra, B Fab, Ivy Now, Zoe Stark. They all came in there. Even Lash Legend, she made her Royal Rumble debut. At one point, you had Bailey and EO do a stare down. Obviously, they got history with the Damage Control story. Then them teaming back up at War Games this past year. B Fab, she was the first person eliminated. You obviously had Bianca coming there. And then Bianca, Bailey kind of teamed up at some points in the match. Even though they got history together, and they kind of, even like history, Bailey got history with a few people. Then it's kind of like, well, we're gonna have to work together at some points to try to get wins, like to try to get the win. Like Bailey, Io Sky, and Bianca, they all attacked the Pure Fusion Collective. And then Maxine Dupree, she got in the match. She was able to eliminate Ivy Now. Like, it was a lot of good storytelling, like bringing up the old stories that was told, and you get deeper into some stuff later in the match. Chelsea Green, she actually eliminated Lash Legend. She eliminated Lash Legend and B-Fab, so she had a solid showing. Then Piper Niven, she accidentally eliminated Chelsea Green, which was a cool spot, because obviously Piper Niven is going to turn at some point, so this only going to build up to it. And Chelsea Green, she is going to be mad. You had Ivy Now eliminate Lyra Valkyria. Now you're setting up that first match. Like, you already had the promo, so now you're setting up Lyra's first defense being against Ivy Now for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So even though she hasn't wrestled yet for the title, she's had some solid promo segments, and I think the story with Ivy Now that they've been building is pretty solid. So I definitely see it paying off with Lyra retaining, but I do think it can be a solid match. So they did a good job building to that in the Royal Rumble. You had Jordynne Grace coming back. Now, shout out to Natalya and Liv Morgan, the only two women to compete in all 8 Women's Royal Rumbles. Natalya, she actually lasted longer than I expected, and then Liv Morgan, she had a great showing as well. So shout out to both of them competing in all the Royal Rumbles for the women. You had Jordynne Grace come back once again. She was in it last year, but now she's officially a WWE superstar. Don't know whether she's going to be on NXT, Raw, or SmackDown, but Jordynne Grace, she came back, and now she's here to stay. Her contract with TNA is up. She lost the match to Tessa Blanchard, so now she's officially signed to WWE. Then you get Michin, she ended up coming out there, don't really do anything. But then Alexa Bliss, she came back. I've been predicting this for the last few weeks. I was saying that Alexa Bliss is coming back. I spoke it into existence. I had I had a lot of faith in Alexa Bliss coming back, and it's made my day. Like, I had a really good day, and it really made my day seeing her come back to WWE. Obviously, the toss of her and the contract and all that. Now, she didn't make it to the final 4. I wish she did, but she had a solid showing. She came back. She got the crowd loved it. I was loving it. This was one, and this wasn't even my favorite return of the night. Obviously, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, and Lyra, my 3 favorite women's wrestlers right now. So seeing Lyra get her spotlight in the Royal Rumble and seeing her build up a feud with Ivy Now, which can be solid. Getting to see Alexa Bliss return, like, that just made me really excited. I really wish Becky Lynch would have been there too, but I'm not complaining too much because, well, at least not in this part, because seeing Alexa Bliss back was really cool. Then you had other NXT women appear like Jada Parker, Stephanie Van Cure, They had some solid showing Lash Legend, like I said earlier. Julia even made her Royal Rumble debut. So they had a lot of surprises. Like, even though a lot of people were announced, it still was a good amount of surprises and people from NXT. Trish Stratus, she came back as the 25th entrant, and I enjoyed this. Trish, she can still go. The story with Zoe Stark never paying off and leading to anything is kind of stupid. But she did have a but it was solid. She was really solid in ring. I would see the stuff with Nia Jackson, Candice LeRae. I could see them building a story off of that. I could see Trish making one more run. Like, Trish can still go, so I'm not mad at that surprise. I actually enjoyed that. Raquel, she would end up coming into the match, and then Leah Morgan. She got a few eliminations. She eliminated Natalia. She even eliminated Alexa Bliss, and I wish Alexa Bliss would have lasted a bit longer. But Leah, she still got to keep her looking strong. Alexa Bliss, she looked really solid, like I said. Then Charlotte, she was walking super slow. She eliminated Michin. She did a double DDT to Stephanie Van Kuren and Jordan Grace, was really cool. She would eliminate. She eliminated Piper, and then after that, was when Julia made her debut. Raquel and Leah, they were double teaming Charlotte for a little bit. And I have a page and a half of notes for the Royal Rumble. And then it was like the main roster women staring down the NXT women. It was Bayley, Charlotte, Bianca. They were staring down Julia, Roxanne, and Stephanie Van Kuren. So you had Bayley and Roxanne going at it, Julia and Charlotte going at it, Bianca and Stephanie going at it. That was a really cool spot. Nia Jax, she was the 29th entrant, which also Nia Jax and Charlotte walked to the ring really slow, which was crazy. And Nia Jax, she ended up eliminating. Trish Stratus had eliminated Candice LeRae. Then Nia ended up eliminating Trish, but thanks to the help of Candice, who was still on the outside. And then at number 30, you get Nikki Bella. Are we serious? A Nikki Bella comeback was pointless. Like, you could have called AJ Lee and asked her if she wanted to come back. And I don't think the window is closed. I know people are saying that, but AJ Lee very well could come back. She would have been better than this. You could have I'd rather have Lita come back because Lita actually has history wrestling recently than Nikki Bella. Like, Trish Stratus, the reason why I'm not mad at her return, because he's actually a really great wrestler and one of the best all time. Same reason why you won't see me complaining if Lita comes back. But Nikki Bella coming back was stupid. You still had Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill and Naomi in the match, and Jade Cargill doesn't come out. And she made a tweet the other week saying, are you sure about that? So the fact that she isn't in the Royal Rumble match doesn't make any type of sense to me. And if Jade isn't cleared to come back yet, then why not have Becky Lynch come back? Because obviously she's not injured. She's taking time off to spend with her family, but she's been off for a while now. So you can't make that call to Becky Lynch to ask her to come back, even if it's just for this Royal Rumble and for a few weeks building into WrestleMania. But you want to bring back Nikki Bella for what reason? That don't really make any type of sense to me. And then you had this really weird, Nikki Bella even eliminated Bayley, which is crazy to me. And then Nia Jax would eliminate Nikki Bella after that. But it was this really weird spot where Io, Bianca, Naomi, Liv, and Raquel, they were all like eliminated at the same time. And I think all the eliminations went to Nia Jax. Like, that was a really weird spot, and I don't know how to feel about that. But the women's Royal, and then it came down. The final three was Charlotte, Nia Jax, and Roxanne. Then Charlotte, she kicked Nia Jax, and she was eliminated. It came down to the final two being Charlotte and Roxanne Perez, and Charlotte would kick Roxanne off the apron to win the match. Now, like I said, the Women's Royal Rumble was really great. It was a phenomenal match, like I said, best match of the night. From start to finish, had a lot of intensity, had some really solid spots. It wasn't a crazy amount of botches. It was, like I said, my two main problems is that you have Nikki Bella come back at 30 when you have a whole storyline about who attacked Jade and she doesn't come back. Or you could have brought back Becky Lynch instead of that, or AJ Lee or Alita. Like, those are 4 women who are way more deserving of coming back in the Royal Rumble than Nikki Bella is. Even Carmella, who probably won't come back soon because of stuff with Corey Graves. But all 5 of them would make more sense to come back to Nikki Bella. It's just a stupid decision in my opinion. And then Charlotte winning. My problem with Charlotte winning is that she doesn't need to win because she's Charlotte Flair. She can ask for a title shot and she'll get it. Like we've seen that happen. So she don't need to go out there and just win the Royal Rumble. Like she can win the Elimination Chamber, or she can just ask for a title shot going into WrestleMania. So I think those are my two main gripes. But I'm more upset about Nikki Bella coming back than I am Charlotte winning. If they went Roxanne Perez and went that route, it would have been something cool because it's unexpected. But like I said, great match. I really enjoyed it. But moving on to the next match, which was very underwhelming and killed the show really. Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. Number one, it was a really quick match. That didn't help. The crowd wasn't into it at all. It was a quick match. DIY, they got the first fall after they did like a fake tag attempt. Like that's something that you don't usually see. And then it had the Motor City Machine Guns confused, so they ended up giving DIY the first pinfall victory. Then the Motor City Machine Guns, they got the second pinfall to tie it. And then now it's tied up 1-1. And a best of 3 usually does go 3. But the match was short. It could have added some extra minutes. And we'll get to that in a second. But Gargano, he accidentally hit Ciampa. Now you're thinking, well, Motor City Machine Gun's probably going to attack it. Then the Street Profits, they make their return. They attack the Motor City Machine Guns while the ref is distracted. Then DIY, they retain. But then the Profits attack the Motor City Machine Guns after that. Then they also attack DIY. Well, they attack Motor City Machine Guns during the match. Then DIY after the match, after they retain. So this is the third time that they'll did a heel turn. So hopefully they stick with it and go through with it. But my problem is this match was super short. It was underwhelming. And it could have had some more time. Like after the match, you had Pat McAfee showing his highlights as a punter. Like we don't care about that. Like that doesn't, like obviously, like it's in Indianapolis, so cool. Pat McAfee's on commentary, but we don't need to be seeing his football highlights during a wrestling show. That's just really stupid to me. So you could have added some more time to that match, but nope. Show Pat McAfee's highlights in the NFL. And then you get to Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens in a ladder match for the WWE Championship. It started with Cody Rhodes sending Kevin Owens sending Cody through the ladder on like where the pipe was at, or like the thing that holds up the ladders. That's how it started off. And then both champions had their belts going into the match, so they weren't even hung. Like they were hung up after they gave the ref the titles, but they weren't even hung up. Like they hung them up last week at Saturday night's main event because they had to relinquish them, but so it can be hung up for the ladder match. But it doesn't make sense because it was in a whole different city, and then both champions came up with their titles. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But, excuse me. Kevin Owens, he was using the metal from the ladders, and then Cody Rhodes also used it at one point. So that dynamic of them using every part of the ladder to their advantage was definitely interesting. They fought into the crowd, went from one side of the arena to the other side of the arena, which it was kind of pointless because it's like if this is a false count anywhere match or something like that, it makes more sense. But it's a ladder match, so it's no reason for them to be fighting in the crowd. And then Cody, he was getting up pretty quick for some of the moves that he had been getting hit with ladders and stuff from the ladders, and he was getting up pretty quickly. Kevin Owens, he used a step ladder. He started throwing a step ladder at Cody, which that was an interesting spot. He even hit a pop-up powerbomb, but what made me mad and confused is how many chances Kevin Owens had to go for the title, and he just wouldn't go for it. Like, there was multiple times where Cody was down and Kevin could have went for the title, but no, he just didn't do that. And then Kevin Owens had a really great fisherman buster on Cody Rhodes onto the ladder. Like, that move was amazing. Then that's when Sami Zayn came out, and he went to check on him. He checked on Kevin. He was checking on Cody because, you know, they both of them were his friends. And I was thinking Sami's going to do nothing. Sami Zayn served no purpose. Like, this match could have went on without having Sami Zayn there at all. Like, it was really pointless for him to be involved in the match. Because Kevin Owens, like I said, he had a chance to go after the title when Cody was down, but he didn't. And then Kevin Owens, he was eventually busted open throughout the match. And then Cody hit an Alabama slam off the table onto the ladder to Kevin Owens. and which was a dangerous spot, a crazy spot. And I just hope that Kevin Owens is all right because he looked seriously injured from that. Cody Rhodes was able to secure both championships to get the win, and then he keeps looking back as if Sami is going to do something. So I think there was a missed opportunity to explore a different avenue, a different route right there. But then Cody Rhodes retains. I just didn't like the ending because I don't see what purpose Sami Zayn served, and it's like you have Cody looking back like Sami is trying to do something. So like the match was solid, but it wasn't great. I uh, Cody Rhodes matches with AJ Styles was much better than this. Even think the Logan Paul match was a lot better than this. So it's like the feud, I felt like it had been going really good, but this match wasn't that great for a payoff. It was a solid match, but it should have been a great match. It should have been better than what it was. And you could have added a few more minutes to this match as well. And now on to the main event. You have, because you only have 4 matches on this card, which I find ridiculous. It should have been 5. But you get the Men's Royal Rumble. You have Rey Mysterio and Penta start later this year at Backlash. It's going to be in Mexico. So these are your top 2 biggest luchadors. So you're obviously going to build both of them up. They're obviously pushing Penta to the moon. Rey is an all-time legend. So that makes sense that they start the match. Then you get them going. Then you had guys like Chad Gable, Carmelo Hayes. You had Santos. You had them follow. Because you had most of these guys are mid-carders. Obviously, Rey Mysterio, one of the greatest all time. Penta, amazing. And then you had these other mid-card guys that you bring in. And you got Santos in there as well. So you add another luchador. And then you get, not a luchador, but another Mexican. And then, so that's interesting dynamic of how fast-paced the match was in the beginning, because the women's match, even though the women's match had a solid pace, but it's like the men's pace was a lot faster, but it doesn't make it better, because I don't think it was better than the women's match, but it was a lot faster because you have more high-flying guys, and like the Lucha Libre style, like Santos, Penta, and Rey Mysterio. Like, it's a more fast-paced style of wrestling, so it doesn't make sense. Then you had Otis coming to Royal Rumble. Him and Chad Gable, they went at it for a little bit, and Otis even got the upper hand, which that was really great. Penta had a botch early in the match, but from that he picked it up and just had a really great Royal Rumble showing. Like, it didn't end up mattering in the end. So that was good to see that he was, even though he made a mistake, he was able to correct it and then continue to keep going. And then Braun Breaker, he came in, got some eliminations. He eliminated Santos and Carmelo Hayes. Then Akira Tozawa was coming out there. Carmelo just clotheslined him because he was angry. He was pissed that he got eliminated. He was like, I'll take it out on Tozawa. Then this man Tozawa, he getting hurt. Everybody got like 5 officials out, got Triple H out there. And then I Show Speed, he backstage, and then Triple H was like, go out there, you're in. And Speed was like, what? I'm not ready. And then he was like, Triple H was like, go, this is your time. So Speed, he going to Royal Rumble, and he even got elimination. He eliminated Otis, which was really funny. And then Braun Breaker essentially killed him. Like, Braun Breaker destroyed that man. So shout out to I Show Speed. And then after he speared him, Braun Breaker threw Speed out the ring, and he landed into Otis's hands, and Otis just threw him backwards onto the table. Then he was eliminated. So shout out to Speed, because not a lot of people are willing to take those bumps. So yeah, then he even got an elimination. So like I said, big shout out to Speed, because he's even took an RKO too. You can tell that he likes doing it. So that was one of the better parts of this match. That was actually a fun part of the match, because the Men's Royal Rumble, I felt like it wasn't that. It was an average match. I say it's average, to be honest. You could argue it's slightly above average, but nah. But you had Jacob Fatu. He came out there. He was dominating for the most part. Andrade eventually was out there. And then Jacob Fatu, he started eliminating people. He was getting some eliminations, taking out the Mexicans. So then the match, it became a slower pace because those guys like Santos and Santos, Ray, Andrade, they weren't in there at that point. You had the Miz come out there. Jacob Fatu caught the Miz mid-air and did a Samoan drop. So that was super impressive. Roman Reigns came in early. They had Roman Reigns come in at 16. It was like some of the top guys are coming in kind of early. Like you had Roman at 16, and then he ended up eliminating Braun Breaker. Jacob Fatu eliminated Jimmy Uso, and then Roman and Fatu, they started going at it. And then you had Drew come out there following Roman. Then you had guys like Finn and Shinsuke come out at this point, and then Penta, he had a Mexican destroyer on Jacob Fatu, but Finn Balor ended up eliminating Penta. Jey Uso, he was the next to enter, like I said, and he ended up eliminating Shinsuke Nakamura. But like I said, it was a lot of the top guys like Roman and them, like they came in kind of early. Like none of the top guys, like Roman, Seth. I think Seth was the latest, like the top guy, the top of the top to come in at like 25. Like obviously you had Priest, you had Priest came in later, but I'm talking about like the guys that you expected the main event WrestleMania. Like a lot of them came in later. Then you had my favorite wrestler all time, AJ Styles, return, the phenomenal one. Made me very excited. I was happy to see him back, and I was glad to see him in the Royal Rumble back in WWE. You had John Cena come out at 23, and then he ended up eliminating Braun Strowman and Finn Balor. Then right after Cena, you had CM Punk come out there. So now CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and John Cena, they just staring at each other, just looking around. They're waiting for Seth Rollins to come out. They waited that whole 2-minute period just so Seth could come out, and then they finally started brawling with each other after that. Then you had LA Knight. He came in at 29. You had the Yeet versus Jay and LA going back and forth. Then LA Knight, he was able to eliminate Priest. AJ Styles ended up eliminating LA Knight, but Logan Paul ended up eliminating AJ Styles, which I don't think he should have. Should have been reversed, but okay. Then you had Roman and Seth going at it for a little bit, and they were both just, while the other 4 people were down. They were part of the final 6. But Punk eliminated both Roman and Seth, and then Logan Paul eliminated CM Punk. Then Seth, he started raging. Like, this is Seth's official heel turn. He's a heel once again. He attacked CM Punk. He stomped Roman so hard. He did it twice, actually. He got in Paul Heyman's face, and then Seth has lost it. Like, Seth crashed out, as he should have. And then, like, the story with Seth and Punk, it's not over. You probably gonna do some stuff with Seth and Roman. You can even get a triple threat match with these 3 at WrestleMania. I could definitely see that happening. Then it came down to Jey Uso, Logan Paul, and John Cena. You had Jey and Logan exchanging blows for a little bit, but then as John is getting ready to hit an AA on Logan Paul. Jey super kicks Logan. Then Cena does a clothesline to eliminate Logan Paul from the match. And then it comes down to Jey Uso and John Cena. Like, fans are split. Everybody's split. Like, they don't know who's winning this match now. And fans, they're going to be fine either way. So they're really excited. And then they're both on the apron. They both fighting it out. Both exchanging blows. And then it looks like John Cena going to get the best of him as he goes for the AA. But being on the ropes, Jey gets back into the ring, runs to the ropes, then runs back to eliminate John Cena. And Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble, which was definitely a big surprise. I don't think many people saw him winning the Royal Rumble. I definitely didn't. I thought Cena would have won. I knew he'd be at least in the last 2, but I think Jey winning was a great decision, especially if you do Jey versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, and then you can have John Cena win the Elimination Chamber. Now, I think the match was an average match. I would say that the Royal Rumble was a 6 out of 10 pay-per-view. It definitely could have been a lot better. You could have had one more match. The matches in between is what hurt the show for me. And I think the women should have main evented based off how it played out. Like, the women's main event The women's Royal Rumble was a lot better than the men's Royal Rumble in my opinion, but the men's Royal Rumble wasn't terrible, but I definitely think it could have been booked better. Like you had Braun Strowman eliminate Jacob Fatu. I don't think you needed to do that. Some of the booking decisions in the men's Royal Rumble wasn't great. The tag team match was underwhelming. Cody and Kevin could have been better. The men's Rumble definitely should have been better. And then the women's Rumble, you shouldn't have had Nikki Bella there, and you didn't need Charlotte Flair to win. But like I said, Royal Rumble is a 6 out of 10. Elimination Chamber better deliver, or we'll have serious problems. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts on the Royal Rumble. Did you enjoy it? Did you not? And with that being said, yeet.